Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. And as phase 2 of Jammu and Kashmir assembly elections comes to an end, we also discuss about this interesting partnership that the National Conference and the Congress have found themselves in at the start of the elections, at the start of the campaigning, where the two parties came together, forged a partnership, forged an alliance. But questions are now being raised after the comment that was made by Omar Abdullah of the National Conference. He took a jibe at the Congress and Rahul Gandhi particularly, and asked him to campaign in Jammu and focus on Jammu, where a larger percentage of the seats were allocated to the Congress, which is 32 of those seats, and majority of them being allocated to Congress, which are a part of the Jammu division. And he also questioned that why is Rahul Gandhi only focused on campaigning and rallying in Kashmir. Let's start off our conversation. On the telecast with me is Amrit Gill. She's the spokesperson of Congress. And Amrit, let's hear it from you about your reaction to Omar Abdullah's comment, who has targeted Rahul Gandhi, the party that you are in alliance with in Jammu and Kashmir.
Every time the focus, the key, the core, the center person is Rahul Gandhi. Whenever the conversations or debates will start, the name will be Rahul Gandhi. It's like there is an alliance between both the parties. And now the second phase of elections are over, and BJP is surely going to get a defeat. And it's between the partners. If Omar Abdullah had said something to Rahul Gandhi, do you believe that we should, on a national channel, should have a debate that he had given? He had simply said that Congress should focus, and we are already focusing. Today, Rahul Gandhi is in Jammu, and he is interacting with the intellectuals, with the professionals, and so we are very much focusing. And this time, as we have seen, like in the morning also, I want to speak on certain issues that, as BJP generally, they say that we are focusing on manufacturing sector. The manufacturing growth rate in 23rd, 24th is in the
Jasmine,
year.
right now I'm not talking about, yes, you can be critical of the government of India and the BJP over their Make in India campaign and celebration of the last 10 years. My focus over here is Jammu and Kashmir elections. I'm asking you a very straightforward question. Do you think Omar Abdullah's statement on Rahul Gandhi was in bad form?
It's not in bad form. We are the partners, and we are doing well. Whatever if Omar Abdullah is saying, and we will see to it. And if something needs to be done, we will do it.
Okay. Fair enough.
There is nothing, no jibe. And if Rahul Gandhi says something to Omar Abdullah, and then also it's okay, because we are the partners and we will pick.
Okay.
We are contesting. It's not like BJP picking and then disrupting and then again picking somebody else.
Okay, all right. Shreya Handu of the Jammu and Kashmir National Conference on the telecast with me as well. Shreya, how do you react to this? Again, the same question. Was it in bad form for Omar Abdullah to nitpick over Rahul Gandhi's campaigning for the Jammu and Kashmir assembly elections?
See, the National Conference has a strong and enduring presence across both J&K and Ladakh. And to strengthen our fight against the communal forces, we had formed an alliance, a powerful alliance with Congress. There is no discontent within the party. In fact, over the few weeks, Dr. Saab has been actively campaigning for the alliance. As for Umar Saab's remarks about Rahul ji, they are simply a friendly advice. I don't understand why it being blown out of proportion. We only offer advice to our allies, not our adversaries. And as a part of our pre-poll alliance, we expect our partners to complement the foundation we have established. The strength of any alliance lies in mutual support, and we look forward to greater cooperation for Congress in the days ahead to collectively uplift the plains of Jammu. There is nothing else to it.
So why do you think this advice has come from Omar Abdullah on a public platform? Could this communication be made privately as well?
Maybe it has been made privately. Why are you so sure?
Maybe it has been made privately and it has not been paid heed to, and therefore he was compelled to speak it in front of the cameras.
Not necessarily. I don't understand why
That
is
is
it
your
blown up.
story. That is your story.
That's not
Megha.
my
You
story.
are-
I'm just
you are
asking. I'm
creating
asking
a
the
mass media
questions.
story.
I'm asking the
I-
questions. I'm speculating. Let Shriya Handu answer the question. Amrit Gill, I've given you time. I'll come back to you. Shriya, yes, go ahead.
No bad feeling about any of the remarks that are made, and I don't understand why is it being blown out of proportion. These are two alliance partners talking to each other in whichever way they feel is right for them. I don't think it should be blown out of proportion.
Okay.
Stories or no stories.
Okay, all right. I have with me the BJP spokesperson as well, Jasmine Sandhya. Thank you for joining us on the telecast. The Jammu and Kashmir phase 2 elections have gotten over. There is over here the Congress and the National Conference Alliance, which they claim is as sturdy as it is possible, and of course reiterate that it is going to be the National Conference and Congress that are going to come again, winning the election and being brought back to power.
NC spokesperson and the Congress spokesperson were saying that this is a private advisory which has been given by Omar Abdullah. Now, I want to bring it to the young lady's notice that this was said to the press, so this is not private at all. Now, Mr. Omar Abdullah is a very, very astute politician, and he, in a desperate attempt, a passionate attempt, he has implored Mr. Rahul Gandhi to focus on Jammu, where the alliance partner has got the lion's shares of seat, and NC understands and has conceded defeat today because it is very apparent to the National Conference that its influence is paramountly and fundamentally in the Kashmir Valley, and they do not enjoy that kind of clout or presence in Jammu. Now, Jammu was something which is going to play a very significant role in the elections, and we have in the party, in the BJP, always said that we are very confident that we are going to do very well in Jammu, and that is the reason Mr. Omar Abdullah today made an passionate appeal to Mr. Rahul Gandhi that he needs to focus in, if I may quote him verbatim, he has gone ahead and said that only 5 days are left for campaigning and Mr. Rahul Gandhi needs to focus in Jammu. What more do you expect the man to say? Now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has kind of understood that his marginalized role in the Congress is going to be very apparent. In Jammu, the Congress does not enjoy the kind of clout which it had imagined it had, and we are going to triumph in Jammu, and Jammu will play a very, very significant role, and whoever wins Jammu is going to actually be forming the government in Jammu and Kashmir, and it is very apparent to Omar Abdullah. He's made a passionate and a desperate appeal to Mr. Rahul Gandhi today, conceding defeat. And as you notice, the turnout of voters in Kashmir is really, really dismal, and while in Jammu area, it was, I believe it is 71%. In certain areas, the polling has been so high. So it is a desperate attempt and desperate advisory to his ally, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. And I think Rahul Gandhi has kind of understood that he is not winning Jammu, and that is the reason he's not focusing here.
All right. Jammu has
is
traditionally been a turf of the BJP in the past as well. There have been, whether it's Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections, BJP has been winning those seats, those constituencies. Tausif Shah, who's the senior PDP leader, also on the telecast with me. Tausif, how do you view this politics that is being played while campaigning right now on the streets of Jammu and Kashmir? Only 5 days left for the final phase of polling to take place on the 1st of October. And where does PDP stand? Because there have been at this point of time a number of allegations that have been raised by the National Conference, by the conference, that PDP seems to be a B team of the BJP and its only aim is to defeat the National Conference.
Yeah, I would just like to reply to this. that first of all, the allegation that BJP, we are the B team of BJP. So let me make it clear to Mr. Omar Abdullah and the National Conference whole team that the BJP if you can see that Omar Abdullah just used to be the son of Chief Minister in 1996. From son of Chief Minister to a politician, he was turned by the BJP Prime Minister, Mr. Vajpayee, who took him for the first time in his cabinet as Union External Affairs Minister. So I think Omar Abdullah forgets to say that his first love in the politics is BJP, and it's very hard to forget the first love. Now, second thing, we are 100%, it's not an apprehension, but we are 100% sure that the deals have been already set to form the government between National Conference and the BJP. That's why you saw today Omar Abdullah directly coming out, and it was sort of a lashing. Do you lash your, if you have a partner, do you lash him, do you beat him openly in the market? What kind of alliance is this? So what I think is that even if we have to beat, if we have to show anger to our staff, we do it very privately. He did it publicly. So this seems that he somehow is very much clear that he is not going to get the numbers, what he was thinking about, what he was assuming. So even apprehensive that if he could maybe win his both the seats or not. We are sure that he is not going to win none of the two seats which he has assembly fielded himself from.
I mean,
second,
the precedent that has been set in the Lok Sabha elections where he ended up losing the Gandarbal constituency, and him then deciding to fight from two constituencies, Gandarbal and Budgam, are something that is at this point of time being viewed with a magnifying lens by political pundits as well. But Tausif, coming back to PDP and Iltija Mufti's statement recently about how PDP is going to turn up and become the kingmaker, and there is going to be no political party that will have the majority, and there was only a retort that came from Omar Abdullah from the National Conference that PDP was in fact plotting the return of the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir. How much truth does that statement hold? How much of it do you agree to it?
The truth would be seen on the day when we start counting the votes. We'll see what really people believe, who really people believe. We have seen for last 5 years, if you see, when since the date Article 370 was abrogated, the sole iron lady who always spoke about the rights of the people, about the draconian laws being brought in, about the lands being taken, about the demolitions being done, about the jobs being, employees being thrown out of the jobs on one pretext or the other pretext. So she is the sole lady. Have you ever seen Mr. Omar Abdullah getting time from his golfing and vacationing with his friends in US? And now this is the time of election. Now he has a very much high time, lot of time now. All the three generations are
fair enough. You made your point. Jasmine, I'll come back to you. Obviously, Omar Abdullah has also targeted BJP once again today, and the point that he has raised is about the foreign delegations that have been allowed to come, the diplomats that have been allowed to come into Jammu and Kashmir to witness for themselves the election, the smooth democratic election process that is taking place in the valley today. Questioning that Jammu and Kashmir does not need the approval of international organizations, of foreign diplomats to then endorse to the process of the elections democracy of Jammu and Kashmir. Also questioning the fact that India at one point of time vehemently disagreed to the interference that was shown by countries across the globe. So why is it that this time around they are inviting these diplomats into Jammu and Kashmir seeking their validation?
Meghna, I think Mr. Omar Abdullah is trying to create it's a desperate attempt to really concede, to defeat and raise up these kind of questions, but it's a relevant thing that you're asking me. Jammu and Kashmir is in first of all part and parcel of India, and BJP has always said that under no circumstances is Kashmir not part of India, and that is the reason in 1950 the party's manifesto promised that whenever we come with an absolute majority, we will do away with the Article 370, which we did. And this was a commitment not just to Jammu and Kashmir, it was a commitment to the country, to the nation. Now, whenever Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, or in fact in the parliament elections, recently held parliament elections only, Mr. Farooq Abdullah had, his father had sung great songs of admiration for a former minister in Pakistan, and had condoned that Pakistan should play a very important role in deciding what is going to happen, that he had links with Pakistan. Now we fought 3 wars. This is a hostile country we are parked next to. And whenever Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, he raises up issues of Kashmir. Recently he raised up an issue of Sikhs not being allowed to tie turbans. So it is very natural for any democracy, a vibrant democracy like India, to tell to the world that here you can come and see for yourself that what is happening in Jammu and Kashmir. And Jammu and Kashmir is totally different to the perception which is being misled by the Abdullahs and the Gandhis abroad. And
Okay.
so I don't feel that there is anything
Jasmine
wrong
ji-
if the government has invited
Jasmine
anybody
ji,
to come
can I
and
come
have
in a
look
moment?
at what is happening.
Okay,
We are,
yes,
we are
yes.
proud of our democracy. There is a
Okay, yes,
system in our
Tausif.
country.
Yeah, you've
There are
made your
fair
point. Jasmine, you've made
elections.
okay. You've
It's
made your
fine to
Jasmine.
see.
You've made your point.
Also,
Tausif Shah.
Jasmine-
Jasmine, you've made your point. Let me have Tausif Shah also speak about this.
They will
Jasmine
give
ji.
all the time to BJP.
I can't hear
I
you.
know this thing.
Amrit, let's not create a fuss when there is none. Tausif, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
but yes,
Yeah,
yes,
thank you, ma'am.
that's
Jasmine
what
ji,
I'm saying. Why
what I would
Jasmine
like to-
is being allowed to speak? We
Madam
should
Amrit,
get the
please let me
opportunity.
speak.
na, when
I am
everybody
giving you the
is allowed to
opportunity,
get the
Amrit,
time.
but every
Let
single
me
time you
speak.
seem to have a problem and you're coming on my debates and raising issues that are not necessary. Tausif, you want to make a point?
Yeah, please. Jasmine ji, just tell me one thing. Why did you make a zoo out of us? Why not in Maharashtra, or why not in the other states of the India? You took the diplomats. And then the second question would be there, that why on the diplomatic lines? If you are afraid that Rahul Gandhi is raising the Kashmir points abroad, so why don't you allow the foreign journalists to come in? Why have you put in a blanket ban on the foreign journalists? Because they would come, they would speak to the people, they'll see what exactly on the ground situation is, and the things would be clear. So you would not have to give any explanations that why Rahul Gandhi is saying so or why he is not saying so. So
Okay.
please, I need an answer from you.
Okay, all right. Shreya Handu, yes.
I was asked
Shreya,
a question
Let
by-
me
I was asked a question by
let
the
me bring in
editor,
Shreya
and
Handu
that's
of the
the
National Conference. Exactly the same point raised by Omar Abdullah. Why are foreign journalists not allowed in Jammu and Kashmir?
which has been going through very tough
Can I have
times.
Shreya Handu respond to this? I'll come back to you, Jasmine. I need to give time to every single panelist who's joining me on the telecast, and I have to divide it equally. Yes.
See, I have a similar question that I think was just asked. When the foreign governments comment on our matters, then the government of India says this is an internal matter of India.
Yes,
and now
exactly.
suddenly they want foreign observers to come and look at our elections. They're getting a guided tour. Why the journalists were not allowed? Why so? And why is it not being done in Haryana? Haryana is also going to have an election right now. Why JNK like this?
Okay.
Why do you treat it as a zoo?
Okay, all right, fair enough. The same point as has been raised by Tausif Shah. Amrit, would you like to make a comment on this?
Speaking lies every moment, every time will not make the thing that it's truth. Like as Jasmine is always portraying that everything. As in the morning she was saying there is unemployment, everything, because from the last decade BJP is ruling, and BJP is famous for destructing their allied partners. And it's simply there is nothing to be worried about. And where Jasmine comes from a party which claims one nation, one election, and they cannot conduct elections in one state in one phase. This is what their lies are, and everything.
At this,
what
I
they
don't,
feel
I,
or
you
they
know, I
are
don't know at this
totally
point in time if you're
from the
raising
reality.
valid arguments, particularly with regards to Jammu and Kashmir, where we have seen terrorism rampant, where we've seen targeted killings, where we've seen that our security personnel, our army personnel, armed forces are being attacked, they are being killed on a weekly basis. I wonder if there would even be the sense and judicious mind that needs to be applied in having elections not in a single phase but in a deferred manner, one phase after the other, only for the safety and security of the people. But you're not, Amrit, I was talking about one point, but at this point in time you're raising the other, but I don't think that is justified. I really don't think that is justified, particularly when we talk about this, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And okay, Jasmine, yes, would you like to comment particularly to what Tausif and Shreya have said? That, you know, on one end you are opening doors to foreign diplomats to come to India, to come to Jammu and Kashmir to witness our election process, and on the other you are when there is foreign interference in matters of Jammu and Kashmir, you completely resent it. And the second point, why are foreign journalists not allowed to cover the elections?
This is
You're
Jammu and
muted.
Kashmir, a territory which has gone through some very, very challenging times. And when we look at Jammu and Kashmir, we need to have different kind of blinkers, and we need to have a very large mind to understand the complexity of what the state or what the region has gone through. We are also parked against a very hostile nation, and we've had 3 wars with them. And there is blatant intervention by Pakistan. The militancy, the separatism was for everybody to see. And on the other hand, we have evolved a consensus in the state after the abrogation of 370, and this is the first election which is happening after the decade, and people are lining up to vote. And to answer your second question, that why are we one time we say that there should be no foreign intervention, and now we are allowing.
More importantly, why is international media being restricted from covering the Jammu and Kashmir elections, keeping in mind that it has been 10 years since the elections took place. Abrogation of Article 370 has happened and it's been 5 years. The Lok Sabha elections have happened in Jammu and Kashmir. There has been a large percentage of people who have come out in unprecedented numbers to vote, and something similar is also being scripted in history for the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections.
Had gone ahead and said and praised Pakistan to a great extent, and even China. Now, what do? When we talk about then that...
That's no, you're not answering my question. You're talking about Farooq Abdullah and who's supporting and wanting to have dialogue with Pakistan and praising Pakistani ministers. But what does that have to do with the BBCs and the CNNs coming down and reporting from Jammu and Kashmir?
I beg your pardon, I can't hear you.
I'm talking about foreign journalists. Why are they not allowed to report from Jammu and Kashmir? That is a grouse that has been raised by National Conference.
Well, the National Conference should also understand that when Mr. Farooq Abdullah goes on record and says that he has sympathizers in Pakistan government, it is a very threatening and it's a very
okay, you're making that point, but that does not answer my question. If you're justifying it as a reason why foreign journalists are not allowed in Jammu and Kashmir, you're telling me that Farooq Abdullah shows solidarity with Pakistani ministers is something that does not make logic. That does not seem to be logical. But anyway, okay, all right. I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast and sharing your views, and we'll keep tracking the campaign that is taking place in Jammu and Kashmir in the next 5 days up until the 3rd phase of elections, that is 1st October. Thanks for watching NewsEye.